Hey Chastity, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, Simeon,
Yeah.
what's going on, dude?
True, nothing much. Really just, getting the morning started for real. So,
Okay, okay. Okay, and who are we? What's the lady's name again that we're waiting on? What's her name?
uh,
Jean?
Jenna,
Jenna. Have I met
yeah,
Jenna?
you said what?
I asked, have I met Jenna before?
I don't think so. Yeah, she's kind of like she's our like social media like media person. So she does a lot of like the newsletters and yeah, she's just real like savvy with like media stuff. And so like yeah, she just works a lot with our organizations, GMHJP,
Hmm.
Collaborative. She works with Jamie, Memphis Public Interest Law Center. So she just does like, you know, things here and there to kind of increase like our visibility across organizations.
Gotcha. Okay, okay. No, I just wanted to make sure that she wasn't at the housing for homeless when we went to Nashville. She wasn't there.
Oh no, yeah, she works primarily like remote. I forgot what state she live in, but yeah, she work remote. She don't live in Memphis.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, like yeah, she was working with the organization like before I even got here. So yeah, she's been working with Jamie a lot and Shirley.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because really, yeah, she just helping me kind of like craft a lot of the what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, she's just really good at like crafting like stories, you know what I'm saying? Making them,
Gotcha.
you know, uh appealing to like the audience. Yeah, that part. So
So,
she just,
so journalism kind of is her thing.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Storytelling,
Yeah.
depending on what nonprofit you're a part of.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm excited. So basically, what I'm giving the rundown of my story and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, for the most part, kind of, tell a little bit about your background, just like introductions, like your journey, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, we really wanted to highlight, your story in particular. I know you told it to like people like a couple times already, but it is a good and like empowering story.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. So, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's not nothing too like formal. You know what I'm saying? You really like leading the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like we got some questions that we was
Mm-hmm.
gonna like ask, but it's all pretty much just moving at your pace. You know what I'm saying? We just wanted to be like a casual, you know what I'm saying, casual conversation, not no interview or nothing. You know.
Cool. I gotcha.
So yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, not no interview. So
And how is this being published? Is it newsletter or just all over, all around?
yeah, we think about putting it on our like socials. Um, I think that was like the main avenue. Um, like our social medias. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I'm excited. I know Jenna said she had another call.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
she be busy throughout the day. So I'm glad she's able to like hop on at this time. So
Right.
Mhm.
Man, send me in my garden is coming along. So nice.
That's what's up. I love to hear that. Love to hear that. So what
Yes.
what what you plan? What's in your garden?
I did kale. I got
Mm.
kale,
Okay.
tomato, lima beans, hot peppers, sweet peppers, okra, corn, and sunflowers and pumpkins.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay.
Yeah. And mind you, this is all a patio garden. So my shit looks like it. Excuse me, this is being recorded. It looks like a jungle.
That's what's up. Wait, so I didn't know. So like you start growing pumpkins in like early in the year? I didn't know that.
For them to be ready,
Oh, for real?
like around September, October when people start buying pumpkins.
Oh wow, okay. Dang. Oh, you
And
learn
I
something new every
actually
day.
did. These came from seedlings. I had did an event last year in October. It was called Paint the Garden Pink, and we painted pumpkins and for breast cancer awareness month and celebratory breast cancer awareness month. And we left the pumpkins out there, and they rotted into the ground and started sprouting again.
Man,
So
that's
I had
crazy.
got some seedlings from the garden and brought them here.
Mm, that's crazy though.
Yeah,
Man.
so it's not even going to be they're not even the orange pumpkins. They're going to be the small white ones because that was what we used.
Oh, the small white ones. I ain't never seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like completely
It's
white
complete.
pumpkin.
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
White, small. I forgot what they're called. I forgot the name of them, but it is a certain name for them. You know, there are different type of pumpkins outside of the ones that we see for Halloween.
oh yeah,
Like,
that's right. Well,
yeah.
see, I guess I don't really be like seeing the different ones. I just be seeing the classic orange
Mm-hmm.
ones. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay.
You got to go out
Mm-hmm.
the local Memphis neighborhood if you catch my drift.
Got you. No, I feel that. I feel that. That's cool though. I need to. I feel like doing a garden would be cool, like for real. Cause like,
Everybody needs to garden.
yeah, yeah. I am trying to eat a little more healthier. So right now I'm training for like a 10K, which is in like on the 4th of July. So I'm eating more like fruits and like vegetables and getting
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, just getting a little more healthier. So
Where your rice and your grains at? You need your rice, your grains, your beans. Don't
I do
forget
need
about
to
that.
I do need rice, yeah, for sure. I mean, I be eating like I don't know if this counts. I be eating like whole grain. What is it? Whole grain bread, like raw bread.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that really is good or bad, but I don't know. I like bread.
No, whole grain bread is good. It's yep. You're on
Oh,
the right track.
okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just trying to just incorporate just more healthier stuff. You know.
Yeah. You know, we getting older. We're about to be we're the new generation of elders.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I can feel it. Like I can feel it in my knees. You know what I'm saying? Like my bones and stuff like that. So
Do your knees get to hurt when it's about to rain?
low key they do for real.
Oh God, not the low key.
Yeah. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do my best, do a little stretching here and there, a little,
Yeah.
that part. So,
My every time I lift weights when I be working out, my elbows pop.
mm,
Like with every time I lift the weight and bring my bring my arm back down, my elbows pop.
mm, yeah, yeah, we getting up there in age for sure.
We getting there. We getting there.
Yeah,
I don't want to look it though, so I'm gonna keep
yeah,
doing what I gotta do,
no, for sure.
which is eating healthy
Hmm.
and gardening.
You're right.
You garden?
Are we on? Okay. Oh, you got a background and stuff. Hold on, send me.
Oh, I'm just in my office though. Yeah, it's not really a background per se. It's just
Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, I want to see what my background look like. Well, I'm outside, so see.
All right. Hello.
perfect.
Oh, you look
Hi,
great.
thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm well. I'm
Yeah.
well. Okay, real quick, because we was talking about gardens and stuff since we on camera. Can I show y'all my patio garden?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's see it.
I'm gonna start from the beginning. Hold on. Okay, so see me. Let me turn my camera around. Of course, I can't figure out how to turn it around. Okay, there. Okay, see me.
Take your
Here's the
time.
corn.
You're good.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, got some potted
Yeah,
plants, got a little bistro chair,
yeah, corn. Okay, so
and
that
then
was my corn. There, this is my pumpkins, the sunflowers.
let's get tall, real tall.
Yes, okra. I got cucumbers coming in right there.
Okay.
Yeah. Water those a lot. Those need a lot of water. The cukes.
Oh, it just finished raining.
I feel like it's been running for
Those look
40
like
days and 40
peppers.
nights.
Yep, my hot Tahi peppers actually. Yep,
There you
hot
go. You're
Tahi
gonna
peppers.
be eating from the garden. Oh, you got little bell peppers. Or
Mm-hmm. Those are more peppers. Here go my babies right here, y'all.
The tomatoes.
tomatoes?
Yep, my orange. They're called
Yeah.
orange honeycomb hybrid.
You must get a lot of sun on your porch.
I do,
I
especially in the morning. I get a lot of morning sun. And there's my kale. Oh, I skipped over the lima beans, y'all. Hold on. We got beans too.
You got everything in there.
I got everything, y'all.
that looks
I
oh,
got
that's so
everything.
great. You're gonna
Thank
have all kind
you.
of summer garden.
Yes, and
Yummy. Salad.
I had a kale salad the other day for lunch. It felt
That's so
so good
awesome.
to prepare it for my garden.
You can actually get full on kale, I feel like. When I eat like an iceberg or romaine lettuce salad, I'm like hungry in an hour. Like
But
kale, like it's got some meat
iceberg
to it.
doesn't even have any nutritional value to it. People don't know that, but a lot of people don't know that, but it doesn't.
Yeah, you're basically eating water.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
that's so cool. Thank you for showing us that.
thank you. Thank you. Anytime I get the opportunity, because I didn't get to join what was it, Memphis Gardens tour this year. They told me that it was too late for me to sign up. So every chance I get to show it
Oh,
off, I
okay.
try to show it off.
Is that like a gardening, I don't know, like a fair? Do you like bring all of
It's
your vegetables and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, it's a Memphis wide garden tour that they've done in
Okay.
the Cooper Young area. I know for the past, I think this is like the second or the third year. Yeah.
Okay.
And they tour local community gardens, and the previous years I was unhoused, so I couldn't even sign up.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna hear about that. Um, that's really cool. When I lived in Philadelphia, we had something similar, but it was artists, and it was like an art walk, and they had all of the studios listed, and it felt like growing up trick or treating, checking out everyone's
Hmm.
art studio.
Yeah.
It sounds like a similar idea that you go check out the gardens.
Yeah, but it's garden. Yeah. Same thing, same
Yeah,
concept.
love that.
Hmm.
Cool, cool. I'm glad you're getting to expand into those passions and get your little garden going. That's great.
Thank you.
Um,
For sure, for sure.
yeah. So we can begin. I know you wanted to talk about the consent form, so we can totally
Yeah.
do that. Um, to let you know right now, you're in charge of your interview. We might ask questions if um, we need to, get clarity on something. You're welcome to ask questions about our questions if it doesn't make sense to you, or I need to explain it differently, is more than likely what it is. Um, that's fine too. Um, you are at liberty to answer, decline to answer, not give a reason. Um,
Yeah.
it's all fine. And you can have the power to say, I want to end the interview, and that's okay too. And you don't have to give a reason. So you are very much in charge here.
Okay.
Um, with that said already, are there any questions present that you have regarding the form?
No. Nope.
You know, um, do you understand how we'll be using the recording of the story?
Yeah. Is
It'll
it?
be
I'm sorry. Say it
go ahead.
again.
So we're gonna use the story in our social media, and it'll be posted to our website. And I just want to be sure you're okay with
Yes.
how
Yes.
we will be using the recording. Okay, very
Yes.
good.
Samian did.
Um,
He did say that before the before you had joined the call.
oh, okay, I'm so sorry. Didn't mean
No,
to
you're fine. You're
repeat
fine. I
stuff.
just wanted to make sure that that's what you were talking about.
Okay. Um, so I have yet to check. Um, has that been signed, or are we
Let me
needing to
see.
get that signature from you still?
Because okay, I'm finna double check because the only email that I did you attach it to the email that you responded to when you said, of course.
Yes, the she, what's it?
Let me see.
It won't come from my email address. I sent it to healing her,
Mm-hmm.
she mail. It'll come from, it might say Lone Star College. It'll be an
Oh,
Adobe Acrobat email.
okay. Let me check my spam then. It may have went there. No. Now, is there by chance that you can resend it real quick? Because I don't even see it in my spam.
Sure, sure. Let me go back here.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm sorry, my computer's being slow.
Did you resend it? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Let's see here.
Okay. Okay, I got it. It's pulling up and okay. Review and sign. Oh, wow.
Okay.
All right, putting the date in. All right, and just submit. Okay, let me know if you received it. I just sent it over. Oh, I'm sorry, Jenna. You're on mute. Were you talking?
Chastity, did you receive a receipt in your email?
I'm checking now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I got the confirmation letting me know that I signed it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started. Um, Jump back over here. Okay. So, um, are you ready?
Yeah. Does my camera need to be on or
Okay.
is voice audio? Okay.
It's up to you, 100%.
Okay. Okay. I'll do voice audio.
Okay. Awesome. Um, I understand you're in Memphis, and can you walk us sort of through a day in the life of Chastity?
Um, okay. Which version? Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
there's the real question.
Yeah, that's the real
The
question there. Um,
version you like.
okay. Well, I'm a mom of three. I am a local farmer and chef. I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, Douglas community to be exact, which is right in the heart of North Memphis. Um, to be honest, my life has always been a story, if you want me to be completely honest with you. Um, both of my parents were drug addicts. My dad left when I was 8. Um, really didn't get the chance. I didn't see him, or really, to be completely honest, haven't seen him since. And I went about life really quickly, really quickly and really fast. I had a very fast life growing up due to my parents, utilizing drugs. Me and my brothers, we had to take care of ourselves. So that kind of it didn't steer me the wrong way. Not necessarily. I mean, just the typical things that a girl goes through when her dad is not in her life, looking for love in all the wrong places and things like that. I was a teen parent. I got pregnant with my oldest daughter when I was 17. I was in the 11th grade and had her on in the 12th. So yeah, I really had to grow up really fast then because I had a child to take care of. And then, right after that, with me having my daughter, I knew that I wanted something better. I knew that I wanted something, great. I wanted a better life for me and my daughter during that time. So I enrolled in L'École Culinaire, which is a culinary art school. I enrolled there right after graduation. I graduated in 2015 and I started my culinary journey. I worked at places like the Peabody Hotel, JW Marriott in Nashville. I've done Madison Hotel, um, a lot of banquet chefs. I work for a lot of banquet chefs. I've been a banquet chef. I now have my own catering company that I own, but uniquely it is youth operated. So with my program or with my catering company, it gives children the opportunity to learn and how to operate a culinary business or a catering company. Let's see. Wait, okay, so that's that version of Chastity. I can say that. That's that version of me. I'm wholesome. I've had my struggles since childhood, but I've always persevered through it. Um, and of course, unfortunately, the it wasn't just me being a teen parent or having parents that were on drugs. I also ended up becoming homeless, hence as to why we are doing this call today. And to be honest, that stemmed from an abusive relationship that I ended up getting into back in back in 2020. I was going through a hard time in my life. I had just lost someone that was fairly close to me, that was near and dear to my heart, and I sunk into a deep depression after then. And I sunk into a deep depression, which led into um, my heart being vulnerable, my mind being vulnerable. It led me into a vulnerable space. And there was a gentleman, that I met, and we were um we were dating, and things had started off, fairly good in the beginning. And then, it sunk. Well, basically the relationship just went left out of nowhere. And just to sum it up, I went through mental abuse, I went through emotional abuse, and I don't know how many people believe in this, but I also went through spiritual abuse as well. And to break down the spiritual abuse is that, my abuser, because, my love for God and Jesus Christ was, near and dear to me and what was helping me on my journey, he would use things like Bible scriptures and things like that to get me to do what he wanted me to do because he know that I wouldn't go against God. So it was spiritual abuse in that, and like I said, emotional and mental abuse. Um, we ended up having a child together, and he left, cleared out my bank account, cleared out my bank account, you know, stole my food stamps. I was getting EBT during that time. And a little bit after that, we were evicted from our home. Or no, during that process, because we were staying together, we got evicted from our home. And in the process of that, that was when all of that had occurred. And it left me and my three children out on our own. Still don't know how I made it through all of that, if y'all really want me to be honest with you. I um I really don't. I mean, I do, because it was all God. But now that I'm looking back on it, it was two main factors that got me there was a traumatizing situation in my life of me losing someone that was near and dear to me, and it left me open and vulnerable to accept things that I would have never accepted to begin with because of who I am and what I stand for as a woman. Um, I knew better, but I didn't go about seeking the proper help when I lost my friend. So I feel that if I would have went through therapy or if I would have had someone to talk to, I wouldn't have went back to the old me, which resulted in finding love for help. Oh, I'm sorry, you're on mute, Miss Jenna.
Sorry about that. I just had a quick question. You said
Mhm.
you would have gone about getting help um, dealing with losing your friend. Is friend in reference to the boyfriend?
Significant other, yes.
Okay, gotcha. Um, I realized we just jumped right into this, and I did not take the chance to introduce myself, and I don't know how much introduction Simeon gave before I got on the call. But if you have any questions, know a little bit about me, that's a-okay. Please feel free to ask. But I love how you're telling your story right now and your history. Um, it sounds like there's sort of two. You phrased it that way, like which version do you want to hear? There's two perspectives of the narrative, and
Mm-hmm.
um, it sounds like one is very um, probably it's where you feel more like Chastity really lives, with your culinary business and your career, your family, and then there's this other side which we're hearing about now, which is a lot of adversity. And I love how you sort of, hold both of these narratives at the same time. Um, but I thank you for clarifying that. If you want to continue, um, however you want to continue, please continue.
Okay, okay, yeah. No, I just feel that when of course my testimony is my testimony, and when people ask me, you know, how did it start? I can't start my story within those 3 years of me being homeless, because now that I've reflected back on my life, there was a list of things that led up to that. It all started from the beginning. It all started with me witnessing what my parents were going through, and the fight and the struggle and the battle, you know, that they endured. You know, although I went to culinary art school right after high school, and I still had things that I never got a chance to deal with. And when you don't intervene, and that's the point that I was making, when you don't intervene on those things that are bothering you, or when you don't seek the help, it can lead up to other things, because eventually you're just going to give up. Eventually you're just going to get tired. And there was the point in my life of where I was in 2020. And it was just that me losing that significant other, as they say, it was just the icing on the cake. It was a cherry on top from, a slew of what I had already been through. the things that I had already been going through in my life, you know, as a child, and then not having my father there to help me through these things or help me with these questions that I know my mom couldn't ask, but I needed my dad. It's like there was a whole there was a whole ball of things that affected me. And so when you get to the point of I just had that you know that mental breakdown point of just, you know, forget it. And then COVID happened, might I add. COVID happened also in 2020, which affected the culinary field because I was working at a restaurant during that time, and all the restaurants had closed. So I was struggling for money as well. So, you know, going through all of these, you know, just going through all of those things. And now at this point, I've had my second child. I had my second child in 2017. So now it's 2020. I have two children. I lost my job thanks to COVID. Bills are still coming. Rent is still due. Um, you know, and what else happened? School closed down. And being a single mom with all of that going on. Yep. Yeah. I mentally lost it. I mentally lost it. And I remember it was one night I was praying to God and I was just asking him, I was like, you know, Lord, let me, you know, I need a way out. Like, this can't be it. This can't be happening. And literally right after that, like right after that prayer, I want to like a couple of weeks later, I know it was the day before my birthday because it was July 10th. It was the day before my birthday. And I had got an eviction letter in the email saying that I had 30 days to move. So, and with that,
Okay.
you know, mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Now, with that, it really became hard because, you know, the only thing that I knew then was cooking. So it's kind of hard for me to find a job because I did not saying that I didn't qualify, not saying that I didn't qualify for it, but it was just that that was all that my hands knew. Give me just a second, Miss Jenna.
No problem.
Okay, Miss Jenna, I'm back. Okay, where were we? I'm sorry.
The day before your birthday, you got an eviction notice.
Yes. Oh wow, that's a good way to leave off. Yeah. So the day before my birthday, I ended up receiving um the eviction notice, and from that point on, yep, that that started my that started the journey of how everything started. I'm really good with questions. So if there are any other
Okay.
questions that you may have along the way, I can go with the flow of that.
I have some, but I want to pass the torch to Simeon and see if he has any questions or would like
Okay.
to.
Yeah, of course, of course. Um, so yeah, thank you for like sharing that like so far. And I guess my question is, so you mentioned how, early on how you were hesitant, to kind of like reach out and like ask for
Mm-hmm.
help and ask for resources. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question is, how were you able to get the strength and the courage to kind of, seek out those resources and seek out like that help in the midst of those like transition, periods. Uh you mentioned how you had became like homeless, like due to the like
Mm-hmm.
eviction, right? Then also the period of like when you had your kids. So like how hard was it for you to like, reach out and like get those resources in order for you to like, continue on, like on your journey?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't too complicated because I had close knit people. And it was really people that I had met along the way. Like, I don't mean to sound crazy when I say this, but it was spiritual alignment because I'm so big on not asking for help. And to be honest, me not asking for help stems from what I went through as a child, believe it or not. Because and by me saying that, because I had parents that were on drugs during that time, my mom would always say to me, what happens in this house stays in this house. And when you embed that into a child's mind you, I'm seeing some messed up things now to where I was supposed to like reach out and seek out for help. But because I was told that and I was afraid, that I may get taken away from my mom and this, then the other, as a single mom, that is the number one thing that we are afraid of, especially in a situation like that where we reach out to someone and we'll tell them the situation that we're in. There's no telling that that person may call, DCS or DHS and, possibly potentially get our kids taken away. So majority of the time, that's the main reason why um women don't reach out for help as quickly. Like it would have to get down to the nitty gritty. And really, that's what it was for me. Like it got down to where it was so bad and I had then, everything was taken away from me to where I had no choice. But still there was that fear in the back of my mind of, oh my gosh, is somebody gonna call DCS? It's that anxiety, and no mom wants to go through that. So I know for a fact that that's the reason why a lot of people aren't too quick to reach out and ask for help when they're in that situation, because it's fear.
Yeah, definitely. No, I definitely empathize with that, like for sure, for sure. And so when you, eventually like got, some of the necessary like resources, um, how were you like able to specifically like build that network? So uh yeah, like once you got the resources, like how was that? Like, do you still have some of those like initial like connection that you built previously?
Yep,
Like now?
absolutely.
Mhm.
I'm still in contact with, with every organization that has helped me and with every individual that has helped me as well. And it's all about I kept contact. And I have a heart of giving back also. So that's how I was also able to, keep up with the connections and the network, because the organizations that helped me, like prime example, Room in the Inn. That was the last shelter that I had stayed in before I ended up finding a place. I kept in contact with Room in the Inn, the social workers that helped me, and I've also donated clothes and food back to Room in the Inn. And let's see, the other organizations were churches, still the same way. If they need me, if they need my services, my catering services, they know that I'm a phone call away. And there was another way that I was able to get help as well. Like once COVID happened and all the restaurants and things started closing down, I I utilized my hands, and because I'm not big on telling people what I'm going through, I would fluff it up another way and saying, "Hey, do you need help with a catering, or do you have any events coming up that I could possibly work?" That would be my kind of slick and sly way of saying, "Hey, I need help."
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I guess right now I'm gonna just pass it back to Jenna.
Okay.
All right. That I think was a really insightful perspective that you shared there, Chastity, about like the biggest resistance or concern parents have about reaching out for help is the fear of losing their kids. I think that that's really valuable to know. So I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate hearing that very much.
No.
I also like appreciate hearing that it sounds like real relationships were forged with the organizations that helped you with these churches. Um, and it sounds like were you found ways to present yourself um, from a perspective that was empowering or that allows you to sort of control your narrative. You know, I'm a caterer or I'm a chef and I can do catering
Mm-hmm.
uh, for your events and like really controlling your narrative, which I think is really remarkable. Um, so yeah, thank you for those questions, Simeon. I think those got to some good points here. Um, I I kind of am gonna backtrack a little just to make sure I understand the story correctly. I understand there were two evictions.
Mm-hmm.
That, okay, so with the one this first boyfriend where you said he cleared your bank accounts and then y'all got evicted. And then it sounds like the second eviction before your birthday, you were single during that one? Or
Yeah,
was,
so the one with the email the day before my birthday, that was the first one.
oh, that's the first one. Okay.
Yeah, that one is the first one. I just explained it, yeah, backwardsly. Um,
Oh, that's
and
okay. That's okay. That happens.
the second
And
one
then,
is that one I ended up meeting that guy during that time in my life, which was which explains the vulnerability that I was telling you about.
yeah, yeah, that, and you can correct me, like it was after the first eviction, um,
Yeah,
and having a
that one was
child.
after.
Yeah, it sounds like this, guy seemed like, um, like as you put it, like a friend, like it's someone that you could kind of um, seek support from, but ended up not being
Not,
the case.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, that's gotta be really, really challenging. Um, okay. I understand the parents were, involved with drugs and that dad was not around for the most part. Um, and I understand those early life struggle or challenges. Um, you referred in your story to like growing up quickly and having a quick life outside of the having the child in at 17 and the parent stuff. Like, was there anything else that pertained to this quick life that you referred to?
Um, yeah, I mean, just things like having household duties and taking care of the house, taking care of the home. Because I do have two other siblings, but we're spaced so far apart. My oldest brother is 52. My yeah, my oldest brother is 52, and my second oldest brother is 39. So although we grew up in the same household, it was an age gap that we had, and they already had their families and were was getting married and things like that. I was left to take care of myself. So just imagine me literally in the second grade, washing and ironing my clothes for school the next morning, like those kinds of responsibilities, like making sure that I get up in time for school. And when I made it to high school, I had to, work on getting my own uniform. Fashion is really fashioning then or now. So I wanted the latest shoes and I wanted to keep my hair done and my nails done. And that resulted into me like dating older guys. And, with the lifestyle that I had, all I saw all that was around me was the drug life. So and my mindset in the 10th grade during this time, I wanted to date drug boys. Like, because they were the ones with the money and they could pay for this and they could pay for that. And I ended up picking up that lifestyle of being, that girl's girl. And that really took off really fast because, I was then introduced to, things that were illegal, and being around things that I had no business being around. But, for the sake of me having the latest shoes or, always keeping my hair done and my nails done, I did it. I dated those guys. I was, doing favors and things for them. Um, like that nature, things that I needed to do to survive that a child had no business doing or a teenager. So,
Okay, I understand. Yeah, like that paints a little more colorful of a picture of that beginning for you. Like
mhm.
that you had said that like you had to basically raise yourself and you were yeah,
Yeah. Yes. And
managing your
I
own
went
life and
and me and
yeah.
my mom, we didn't have a great relationship. We're just now, me and my mom, we're just now, having that mother daughter relationship. So, I didn't have my mom nor my dad to talk to, but I did have people along the way, like, elders along the way that really believed in me and, saw that I could do better. They always, whenever they got the chance or the opportunity to speak good and to speak life into me, I didn't just brush it off. I was, everything that I did it with decency and respect. I always listen to my elders whenever they had a message for me or any advice that they had for me, and I took that along with life. So I will say, although I was doing the things that I had no business doing, I wasn't just out here doing it willy nilly or in a disrespectful manner or any way to disrespect myself or my family. And during that time when I had my daughter, I wasn't doing anything to disrespect her as my daughter, as my first and my youngest. So with that being said, I've always had the mindset that no matter what I'm going through, I always carry myself with dignity and respect, and failure is not an option. Failure was never an option, never an option for me. Although I was going through those things, I made a way. Like I made light at the end of the I made light at the end of the tunnel because I knew that there was something more, and I'm living that more now. Like, I have my own catering business now. I have my garden that I've always wanted to have. Like, this is the light that I've always wanted to see. And knowing that there's more beyond this, oh, I'm excited. I done made it through the bad part now. I persevered through the storm. So now at this point in my life, I'm writing a whole new chapter, and I know from this point on, everything is going to be good because I survived. I survived abuse. I survived this man, wiping me clean and jumping to the next state. Like, I survived it, and I'm proud.
Yes, you absolutely, absolutely. I see it. I see it. Like I believe, yeah, um, that yeah, you care. I hear from you like that you never stop caring about how you show up in the world, and that although things were difficult, like you didn't let it harden you, it didn't let you make you become mean or you know, um, harmful to people. You
Mhm.
still knew like um, the way you show up in the world matters, that you're a good person, um, regardless of, you know, the nature of the relationships or the people you encounter. You controlled your end, it sounds like, and now you understand that, or it sounds like, and you can correct me, but you're on the other side, and that you see that this storm has passed, and
Yes.
it sounds like you're in the sun
Yes. I'm in the
more now,
Oh
and
yes. Definitely in the light.
yeah, that's awesome. And every chef dream, yeah, wants a farm and a garden. And I love that
Mm-hmm.
you're there and you're having that. Um, that's that's really awesome. Um, Simeon, do you have any other questions on sort of uh, Chastity's background?
Honestly, I think everything was pretty much like, touched on. Like this was very like all encompassing. Like, Chastity like led the whole like conversation and pretty much touched on everything that, we want to talk about. I guess maybe kind of circling it back to, the housing aspect, like the unhoused part. I mean, do you see yourself like do you see your story as like uh a beacon of hope for like others who maybe are currently unhoused or currently like, in the midst of transitioning from being unhoused to trying to find a home? Like, how do you see your like, yeah, do you see yourself like as an advocate? How do you see yourself and your story like impacting others?
Okay. One, absolutely. I must definitely I must definitely see myself as that as that beacon of hope. How? um, in ways like this, and being and understanding that, because it took for this situation to happen, it took for all of this to happen for me to even finally realize that I had a voice. It took for, the abuse from a relationship to even realize that I am somebody. Like, no, you're not going to talk to me this way. No, you're not about to treat me this way. Or even if you do, I'm going to show you the power that I have to even get out of what you thought you put me in. The way that I see myself, um, another way that I see myself going about it is, now God has given me the vision to build a shelter for single moms with kids and teaching them culinary arts and agricultural. Because I feel that one thing that a mom should not have to worry about throughout all of that of finding housing and this and the other, the last thing that she should be worried about is food, or how to cook it. Because you can go to a food, we can go to food banks all day long and it can have all the beans and all the rice in there that it wants to. But if the mom doesn't know how to prepare those beans and rice, what good is it? So I want to provide that, those hands-on structures for them. Even if they are, even teaching them, hey, even if you are in a hotel room, if you just so happen to come across a tomato in a milk jug, I can show you how to make that work because I've done it. I've grown my vegetables out of milk jugs last year. And me and my kids, we were able to make meals out of the produce that we grew. And even with me creating the program that I have now, that was a way, that was something that me and my family created. That was something that me and my kids created. 5 senses, the program that I have now, my kids helped me create that in our darkest times. So even if I have to teach parents, come up with some type of creative something that can expand, that can grow, that can keep y'all minds off of where you're gonna sleep tonight, or what you're gonna eat. This, that, and the other. Because my kids were excited when I created this program. They invited their friends and everything, and next thing I know, I'm having a whole summer camp. So it's different ways and it's different avenues. And yes, I do see myself teaching and guiding young women to, persevere and to see the light. Because we all got it. God didn't even put me in that situation if I wasn't gonna get out. God don't put nobody in that situation if it's not better. But you have to desire it. You have to want it. And that's why I can't say that. I can't make them want it. I'm going to provide the opportunity, but I can't make anybody take it. So in an unhoused sense, it also goes back to your mindset, because you have a lot of people out here that, I'm not gonna say cry wolf, but they think that being in that situation, you're just supposed to, get a handout over and over and over again. When it's like, no, you're supposed to get the handout, but also you're supposed to fight back as well. Like, you're supposed to, go down to Hospitality Hub, and they just think that all of these services are supposed to come to them because they're in this situation, and they don't want to meet that program or that organization halfway. That's it. That's one of the reasons why people even stay in the situation as long as they do. And I've witnessed that from being in shelters, with other single moms. They just expect for things to be handed out to them, and it doesn't work that way. You have to give some type of pushback. So, yep. I think that's, did I, okay, and let me say this as well. Um Memphis does need help when it comes to housing and housing development and helping families, um, with more resources. Because hearing my story, hearing myself tell my story on today, like I said, if certain resources would have been offered in the beginning, like when I was a child, I probably would have been able to avoid half the things that I went through. And I feel like the problem with Memphis is that they give you these resources and then they take them away. They're not self sustaining, and that's what I was talking about, Simeon, when we were at the housing summit at the Civil Rights Museum,
Hmm.
and I had brought up what did they call it, Family Resource Center, when I said where the parents, they could go to the school and they were able to get their light bills paid, if they needed help with their food stamps. Parents were able to get all of that back in the 90s, 2000s. And now that I'm a parent and I have kids, and I found out that the program doesn't even exist, but it exists elsewhere. Memphis has that bad. Memphis has it really, really bad, because I do believe that if some of those resources that were around what my mom was using, if they were still around when I was in the situation that I was in, I wouldn't have been in it as long as I was. And Lord forbid the
Okay,
politicians.
absolutely. Um, you got to some really good stuff here, and I want to sort of dive into it a little bit more. You said Memphis um does need help, like, or you said something like Memphis does have a problem and Memphis needs help, and you said
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's in getting people resources. Uh, you said that, and what I'm taking away from what you've just shared is that they need to come in sooner. Um, like you said, if I had gotten, some of these resources as a child, um, and that the problem is that there aren't enough resources, and when they're there, they're inconsistent. Like you
Mm-hmm.
say, they start a program and then it goes away. They start
Mm-hmm.
a program and it goes away. And you said Memphis is really bad about that,
Yes.
which I think is really good for us to know. So, an earlier intervention, getting in there earlier, keeping these resources available.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that some of these programs are no longer in Memphis, but they're in other places. And I I hear you that it's got to be messed up to hear. Like that's got to be frustrating. That is frustrating. That's and also like recognizing within the people. I'm going back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like, you know, you they're doing the garden, your kid got excited, and before you know it, you had a summer camp. You said, like that shows like your community needed that. Like you offer something and they actually showed up for it. Like there is a need there.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like something unique to you is that you are, and you said it, I circled it, resourceful, and you will get scrappy, get that milk jug and tomato and start a tomato garden. And that sounds like that is really when people are in these situations, like you have to, kind of grab at the crumbs, and see
Yeah.
what you can make with that. You have to be really, really, you kind of have to fight, not kind of have to fight. You have to really like just stretch, and be resourceful. And
Mm-hmm.
um, you see both that want to, as paraphrasing what you said, like that want to be helped, that want to elevate your situation,
Mm-hmm.
and also seeing that oftentimes people are just, as you put it, taking the handout, taking the next handout, and just living off handouts and thinking that's the solution. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so the one observation that, some people are just relying on handouts, and also recognizing Memphis needs to have resources, more resources available and consistently, like where in I'm posing the question, how do we have these two situations where people are then becoming reliant and
Mm-hmm.
also to have them? Like how do we reconcile these two factors in trying to solve the problem?
What I was okay, in my opinion, um, and the community work that I've done, I would say a lot of if Memphis created more community based programs. And what I mean by community based, I mean like actual residential programs. Because nobody we can have all the mayors that we want, we can have all the governors and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, they're not living in the local neighborhoods, if you get what I'm saying. Like prime example here in Memphis, politicians, they stay in Germantown, Carterville, places like that. Where they have all the stores that they need, this, then the other. So we can come to them all we want and say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z, but they can't relate because they live out in Arlington. They live where the nice stores and everything is at. But if you were to build a program with your neighbor, a neighbor that understands your struggle, because you all are going through because you all are going through the same thing and you want to see that change because all of us are tired of struggling, you'll get better results like that.
Okay.
So I feel that the communities need to start coming together. I don't think something like this, as far as like housing, I guess basically what I'm saying is it's not a political fight. And we try and turn, this is one thing that I'm noticing, we try and turn everything into a political fight when a lot of issues can be resolved if you just go out and talk to your neighbor or people in your local neighborhood.
Yeah, it's not a political fight. It's it's a relational.
It's more of a relational, because if you think about it,
um
um, if you think about it, and I'm gonna make this point. My mother she's 69, so she's an elder. Um, back in the day or during that time, so this is like the 50s. If there was an issue that was going on with the neighbor, or if the lights was out, if the neighbor didn't have food, just anything of that sort, she always said the community came together and help that family. It wasn't no this organization called Mayor such and such, and we went down there to the office and we had our signs, and no, no. It was we, the community, came together, or we, the church, came together and we helped such and such, such and such. It was community, it was loving, it was caring, that people truly genuinely cared. And now everybody is so wrapped around politics and laws, to where we think that every single solitary issue needs to go straight to the White House, and not knowing that that issue could be resolved if you just go out and talk to your neighbor. It's the
okay.
politician's job to listen. It's their job to hear you. They get paid to do that. But when you're talking to somebody that knows and that understands your struggle and they want to get out of it just as well as you do,
Okay. Um, I have more questions, but Simeon, do you have anything? Uh-oh, you're on mute.
Wait, I thought oh, sorry. Okay. Not really a question per se, but just, in agreement with what Chassie just said, politicians are elected, to be representatives, of the people, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, um, that community thing is like really important, housing in of itself, it shouldn't be right a political issue, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a human issue, and just to agree on what Chastity said, I think she made some really good points. So
Thank you. Yeah, that's another way to a good way to put it, Simeon. So it sounds like it starts with the community for you, like the adage from your mom, the community came together, and dating back to that place where we show up for our neighbors and our
Mm-hmm.
community. And then it sounds like from there you take that and go to politicians, or you go um, try to enact change in law or policy.
Yes.
But like trying to go direct to policy just seems like there's a disconnect. First need to get in touch with the situation
Mm-hmm.
uh, collectively among all these people, um, or that they both matter. You have to have both kind of taking place. Um, does that align with what you're trying to convey?
Yes.
Does that match what you're
With,
trying to say? Okay.
with what I have. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to. I'm working on bringing that back. I'm working on bringing that community unity together, because it's that's what we're missing, and whether that be
Absolutely.
one seed or one recipe at a time, as my motto goes.
I love that. One recipe at a time.
Hmm.
Um, Correct me, Simeon, if this doesn't align with you, but I work um, directly with Greater Memphis Housing Justice Project. I do a lot of design work for them. I speak to renters as well to understand the sort of mindset they're in, to be sure that what I create communicates to them effectively. And from my time working with the Greater Memphis Housing Justice Project and with Jamie, with MPILC, it it seems like there is an uphill battle on forging this community among people who are impacted by these issues because of the issues. It's hard to bring people together when they are just trying to survive.
Hmm.
Does that resonate for you, Simeon? Um, what and I'd like to ask from your experience, like, um, don't want to, what is the answer to that? How do we solve that? But like, basically, yeah, like how I'd like to pose the question to you, how do we incite motivation and action in people who are going through difficult situations?
yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I think it's very like multifaceted, right? It's a systemic issue, not only here in Memphis, but I think across the US as well. Just like uh affordable housing, like in general, having adequate, like decent housing. There is like a housing shortage. And just to the question of like, how do you, encourage people to like get involved when they're currently living in unideal like situations. I think that is the challenge. That's still something that we're trying to like figure out, how do you build power with people who are trying to, just live and survive on a day-to-day basis, they're concerned about their living condition and also, employment, bills, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that is the challenge. That's something that we're still like working through. Of course, people want to get involved. They have the eagerness, they have the will, et cetera, et cetera. But, a lot of times, yeah, I guess a lot of times it's just hard because yeah, you are trying to survive on a day-to-day basis and trying to worry about anything else outside of surviving on a daily basis. It's not necessarily in your purview. So I think yeah, that's the challenge. That's what we have to like work through. So I mean, I think that is to answer your question, uh that's a challenge. Yeah.
Okay. So Chastity, I'd like to turn it to you and hear your perspective. Have you ever experienced that? Like, I mean, I heard some inclination of it, like you just get tired, you give
Mm-hmm.
up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
have, have you experienced that? Have you seen other people experience that? And what can you offer, if anything, to kind of guide us in how to motivate those people?
Well, yes, I I have been through those things where it's just, it's that one thing, it's that one thing after another, and then you just forget it. Like, you know what, just forget it. You just walk away, walk away from it all. Yes, I have witnessed close knit people, and just throughout their journey, that. Um, I have witnessed that as well. Um, to be honest, it's so many layers. Like I said, I agree with like Simeon. It's so hard to focus on one thing when there's so many different other layers underneath it. Um, and especially when it comes down to housing, because just because a person has lost a house, or just because a person has has been evicted, like I said, there's so many issues that was happening leading up to. All right, and I really feel that the way that it could be resolved is that, I don't know, it has to come from the person. That's another. That's really. I guess this is the reason why it's so hard to figure out which direction to go, because it still all stems from that one individual. Because we can't offer all of these resources and this, then the other, but if the person doesn't, step up and step out and speak up and out, then there's no point. I don't know. Uh,
Absolutely. Well, you say there's so many layers. Like, can you identify or name just off the
like,
top?
okay, um, prime example, let's just say, just choosing bills, for instance. You already you two car notes behind on your car note, and rent is due. But if I don't pay my car note, I can't go to work. And then if I can't go to work, I can't pay this. So it's like that. It's that choosing. Those are the layers. And then Lord forbid if that person has a family, and poor little snickerdoodle has medication that needs to be paid for. That has now come up. If she has more than one kid, that kid may be in sports, and mom, I've got, we got to pay for uniform and this, that, and the other. Those are the layers that that I'm talking about. If you making minimum wage, there's going to be a pick and choose over a bill. That is what I mean. That is what I mean by layers. Like it's something. It's one thing after another, after another, after another. There's one issue after another, after another, after another. And then by the time you look up, you're 1 month behind, but now it's the second month, and now my $1,100 rent just now upped up to 2,000. Like, so I now not only have to catch up on this first $1,100, now I have to catch up on last month's $1,100 or $1,400, depending on how many bedrooms you have.
I once you answer, it's very obvious. The layers are as you said, the choices, and the choices not really being choices, but just, trying to plug holes you
Mm-hmm.
know, with only two hands, and you've got
Yeah,
10 holes, and you're gonna, yeah, it's obvious. It's not
and
complicated.
for the majority of families, it's not like the picking and choosing, is, well, for some, it's not like I'm choosing this over going to, Jamaica or something like this. Like, I couldn't pay my rent because I had to pay, 2 months of my car note. And if I don't have my car, I can't make it to work. Like, it's those decisions that we are now left to make. And those are some hard decisions as an adult. Like I said, with kids,
Yeah.
you don't want to disappoint your children. So Lord forbid, you tell them, hey, little Timmy, you're gonna have to hold off on uniform. Well, coach just said that if I don't have my uniform, I won't be able to play in the first round of the game. Now you feeling guilty as a parent. It's
Yeah.
all
You can't.
it's all those things.
Right. And there's a fight for hope in that. You want a life for your kid where they wear the jersey like everybody else. And you want to make that happen. Like there's sort of like a hope for that, but then there's realities that just keep, kind of scrubbing over that hope, and you try to push back. And yeah, even that alone, like the mental load of doing what I'm calling the bill shuffle, um, pay this now, let that, get the late fee or whatever. Um, and doing the bill shuffle, and it doesn't solve anything. It just prolongs. And yeah, they're the layers are just the unending bleed of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the problem itself, is Simeon and I are doing work to try and solve, is it's got its own layers as well. Um, and so it sounds like you understand. You have like a very real understanding of the perspective of the people we're trying to bring together. Um, and the solution, well, not solution, for lack of a better word. So what you arrive to is like the key is like it has to come from the person. They
Mm-hmm.
have to say, you know what, I'm in over my head, but I'm still going to try to fight. And not fight to keep my head above water, but fight to create a difference.
Right. So yes, yes, that's the thing. It's not surviving that moment, or like he says, just keeping my head above water. It's like, no. What really matters is what your mental is going to be like once everything comes crumbling down. And especially when you know it, when you see it, because I say this, there's always prep time before game time. Like there's always those warnings of, like, prime example, light bill. They always go send you a cutoff notice. And if you know that, just deep down inside, if you know that you're not gonna have it, you need to be trying to come up with some creative way to keep your kids entertained for their little time frame that you may not have lights, as opposed to having your mindset, when the lights do, get cut off, and now you're sinking yourself down into a deep depression, and you cry. I mean, it's a sad moment, don't get me wrong, but it's all about your mindset. Like, if you keep a positive mindset, you're going to have a positive outcome. But if you sit and waddle and, this and the other, oh God, me, that's all you're going to get. You're just going to get, whoa, God, me results.
I have questions, but Simeon,
Um, so I guess maybe like a follow-up to that about, sometimes, people need to meet uh halfway. Um, do you think that could be like some sort of like, I guess, stigma when it comes to like people who are unhoused, like getting resources? So yeah, I do agree with the sentiment of like the onus, it has to be like on you to kind of like change your specific situation, right? The organizations who are like offering, resources, right? They're offering these resources. They're saying, hey, the resources are here. But like you said, the onus, it does have to be on the person. Like the person has to meet the organizations like halfway. But I guess, do you think that's a little bit of a like a stigma when it comes to like unhoused people? And maybe how can uh I don't know, how can individuals be, I guess, better prepared for those certain situations?
For those type of situations.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Um, to be honest, there's really not, because I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting on what I just said. There's really not a preparation for those types of situations. And the only way that you're going to prepare is when you finally go through. It's all of it, because you're not going to be thinking about that in the beginning, because your mind is going to be distraught in this, that, and the other. I guess what I'm saying is, like, don't stay there. A lot of people stay there, and that's where they get messed up at. Of course, in the beginning, you're gonna be embarrassed. It's gonna be embarrassing to reach out to these resources, and this, then the other. But eventually, you're going to have to, you're gonna have to humble yourself. Thank you, Holy Spirit. You're gonna have to humble yourself. And a lot of people don't want to humble themselves. And social media plays a part in that, because, Lord forbid, you got people on there making fun of people that are unhoused or on Section 8 or this, then, the other. So now it's embarrassing. Now this person doesn't want their friends to find them standing in the voucher line or in the food stamp line, and this, then, the other, because of, like I said, they don't want somebody to see or to know.
right?
So,
There's,
mhm.
yeah, it sounds like that person has to flip the script in their own head and not feel, look at me, I'm getting help, I'm getting a voucher, and more like doing what I gotta do to live. And that is something to be proud of.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
or not. Not proud of, not ashamed of, just doing what I gotta do.
Just
Like
I'm
take
just yeah,
all
yeah, I'm
emotion
just
out of it.
you. And then even believe it or not, and I'm saying this because I've witnessed it. Believe it or not, the same person that you're worried about or this, that, and the other, they wish that they had the strength and the courage that you even had to even ask for help. Like the same
Absolutely.
people.
It takes,
Yeah. That takes courage. That takes a lot of courage. And people don't have that.
yeah, yeah. And I think that when people hear your story and hear their story in your story, they're gonna say, "Oh, it's it's not in my head. It's not just me. This is real."
Hmm.
There is a real power in seeing someone else do the same things, have your same thoughts, go through your same experience that then like kind of unwinds the circle you've been spinning in and sends it in the other direction. Like I, this is not okay. I don't have to accept it. Um, and that's why these stories have got to get heard. Like real people, um, real real lives, real names, um, and saying this is outside of you, most definitely. Um, I'm actually a little curious about the garden initiative you have with the kids.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, you said that this like gaggle of kids showed up. You had and you now have kids in this garden project. Like, I want to know a little bit more about that. Can you expand on that some?
Yeah, yeah. So I have a program, Five Senses, FAGCA for short, but it's Five Senses Farming, Agriculture, and Culinary Arts. That was I launched that program back in 2023. Um, I had I applied for a grant. It was a community resident leadership grant. That was why I made the point of the importance of putting power into the local resident leaders and allowing the community to decide on what that community needs. So there was a nonprofit that offered that opportunity, and I gave them my pitch on the program that I wanted to start, and I had received a $5,000 grant for it. They approved my program, and I had received a $5,000 grant. Uh, my first set of students was my kids. I didn't have any students besides my own children, and they enjoyed seeing their mom, and they enjoyed seeing their this is what kicked it off. They enjoyed seeing their mom outside of mom mode. Like, I don't know, they found it cool to call me Miss Chastity and me being their teacher. So, and they were really enjoying the program because I was taking them out on field trips, and we were volunteering in garden space. And my oldest daughter, she was like, I wish that my best friend Kaylani, could be here and experience this. And I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll ask Kaylani's parents if it's okay for her to join. And then, of course, it went from my oldest inviting her best friend to, of course, now my middle baby. She wants to invite her friends, and yep. Now I have like 6 students, maybe. Yeah, 6 students, all from just a word of mouth, from my children. And last year, I was able to do the summer camp thanks to another $5,000 grant that I had applied for in pitching my program too. And with that $5,000, I was able to put on a summer camp. We did a tour of the Dixon Garden and Gallery, the Memphis Botanic Gardens. We took a field trip to the public library where we toured their garden space, and students were allowed to go onto the third floor and shop for their seeds in a seed store that they have, or quote unquote seed store. Um, and since then, yeah, I've built relationship with I've built with a relationship with other parents and students that are interested in it. The summer camp was the last thing that I did, because from then I had transitioned into room in the inn shelter.
Oh, so you did all this while you were still homeless,
Yes,
unhoused.
yes, yes,
You did all of
yes,
this while you were unhoused. You
yes,
started a nonprofit while you were unhoused.
yes.
My God, woman. Okay.
Yes, I launched that and I received a total of $10,000 in grant.
Makes me want to cry. That's remarkable. Oh, wow. That's so
Yeah, and I
cool.
did. And when I first, so yeah, with the first grant, I did I put on a cooking demo because I didn't have a car then. I put on a health fair day at the local community center that was right around the corner. So, and I chose that space because I could walk there. So
I
I,
lost audio for a second. I'm sorry. You
mhm.
said a cooking demo and then what?
And then from there, so that was what I did with the first $5,000 grant. I introduced my program then with the healthy eating, healthy cooking cooking demo. And I was able
Okay.
to get residents to come out to the community center. I did a live cooking demo. I had a food buffet set up for them of different types of fruits and vegetables, and pasta salad, just things that the Parvish community isn't used to. And just showing them that although, we live in this type of environment, that doesn't mean that we have to eat unhealthy. That was how I first introduced five senses. And then from there, I act from there, yes, still homeless when I say this. I ended up I was blessed with the car. I had enrolled myself into an agricultural program that was in Covington, Tennessee, and I was, yes, still staying in Memphis, Tennessee, because this was recent. And I was driving an hour commute back and forth from Memphis to Covington to learn more in depth of agriculture and growing our own food. Because I'm a foodie. I love food. So I wanted to learn. I was really big on learning from seed to table or from farm to fork. So I ended up enrolling myself in an agriculture program, and I was driving an hour there and back. Um, and I completed that program, and I advanced five senses to from five senses culinary arts to five senses farming, agriculture, and culinary arts. And then,
Okay.
yep. And then from that, once I advanced it to that, that was when I launched the summer program.
Okay. So today there's this children's element, and then if I remember correctly, there's also an adults side or single parent side.
Working on the single parent side.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Working
Yeah,
on that in progress.
yes, that
It's
is my
awesome.
future. That is my future goal, is to include single moms with children.
How have the programs been received by the kids' parents?
They love it. They love it. They were expecting. it again this year. I was expecting it again this year, actually, but them grants weren't granted.
Right,
The
it happens, yeah.
yeah, the grants weren't granted this year, so I'm hoping to. Well, honestly, I'm thinking of a fundraiser, like I'm working on coming up with some type of fundraising idea to be able to um, have scholarships for students that want to enroll or for past students that want to. Because it took roughly about $5,000 for each student. So
Okay.
actively working on fundraising and reaching out to local nonprofits and organizations and me partnering up with other local nonprofit organizations and telling them about my program, which is how I was able to meet Simeon and partner up with another organization here, Community Service Leaders of America. They've accepted my program under their nonprofit. So there's some exciting things that are happening.
Definitely, definitely. And it sounds like you're enjoying all of all of the projects and doing the work. It sounds like you're
Yeah.
really enjoying it.
It saved me.
Um, yeah, I understand that too. That's actually why I wanted to hear more about it.
Yep. Yep. Five senses, me
Um,
creating that program, me having that idea, and especially in the time frame that I had it in, it actually saved my life because I was able to, it kept me active. It kept my mind off of off of what was going on and the things that was going on. Yep. It saved my life. That's my baby. Five senses.
I think this is really rich insight. What these projects were able to do for you.
hmm
I keep, yeah, you said it kept you active, took your mind off your situation, gave you
hmm
something um, more of your choosing to focus on.
Yes.
Um, where choice keeps coming up, you have to choose. I keep asking Simeon if he has questions, like he needs my permission to talk, but because I will ask like 10,000 questions. Um, but I know we're coming up at 1 o'clock, and so um, I have one close question that I want to be sure we ask before we jump off of you.
Okay.
Uh, but Simeon, unless you have anything, I can ask that question. I'll just want to be sure that we ask Chastity, what does
Mhm.
the word or what does home mean to you?
The word home to me, a place where you find joy, peace, and clarity. Um, and I don't mean that in a physical home. I don't mean that in the physical brick and mortar version of a home. Home is within inside of you first. And when you find yourself in that situation and you are able to find peace and joy within yourself, no matter what is coming your way, you're already at home.
That's beautifully said.
Yep.
Home is
Home is
something you
you.
find in yourself.
Yeah, home is something like home is originally you. Like, cause when you were birthed, you were just birth you. You weren't birthed with a 3 bedroom and it's and 2 baths. Like the home is me, is what I find within myself, is how I feel. And then when you get into the physical form of the home, how you feel on the inside, that's when you express it, when you have that physical form, when you have that brick and mortar. Because if you really pay attention to it, if we really want to go deeper, I'm a think deeper type of person. When you walk into a person's home, you can kind of pick up on their personality and who they are or how they are. Like, prime example, if you just so happen to go into a person's house and they're a hoarder, they have boxes and boxes and piles. More than likely, that's how their mental is. It's constant thoughts, it's piles and piles of thoughts, or thoughts, trauma, whatever they're going through. If you walk into a person's house and they have plants and everything everywhere and pictures and it's colorful and it's vibrant, more than likely that's how that person's personality is as well. It's joy and it's peace and it's vibrant, and every time they come around it's love. So it's what that person already has on the inside that they are willing to put out into the open for the world to see.
I'm terrified if you saw my house right now. Uh, yeah,
I promise you I won't use it against you, because I know things be happening.
absolutely, absolutely. I got most of my house I keep really nice, but like my bedroom's a little messy, and then my office is like all exploded. But everywhere else, you would like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like I've got like one room that's like just out of control. Um, and and so yeah, I hear that. I guess the underlying message is like,
Yeah.
you know, to see someone's home is to know them.
Mm-hmm.
And you think it's interesting, like, yeah, what's going on inside shows up outside, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that you see that connection there. Um,
If you was to see mine, there you could tell like it's a new beginning. Like if you were to walk, my home indicates it's a new beginning. I have the basics. I have the basics of everything that I need. I have a couch and I have a love seat. There are no pictures. I have a
yes.
plant here and there, but it's the beginning. It's cleanness in here. It's purity. It says she just got here.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, that sounds like you're gonna have the time and space to really flesh it out. And it's yeah, but it sounds like you like where it's at right now too.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
yeah.
Because I'm still basking in the it's ours. It's mine. Like, no, but believe it or not, my although both of my girls have beds, they still sleep on the floor.
Mm,
Yep. And
wow.
sometimes I still find myself, although I have a bed, if I have those nights that I can't sleep, I get on the floor and go right to sleep. Because we were in that environment for so long to where it has become comfort, to where we haven't found comfort in the bed yet.
Wow.
It's all new.
Well,
That's
I'm so glad y'all have beds.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We have everything. Like there is weird. Like I haven't had to pay for anything. Miss Janine, I haven't had to pay for anything. Like everything was blessed and it was given to me. Like everything that probably was purchased was the house plants because I'm a planner. But everything else, it was God's grace.
That's gotta be, you've gotta really, I think, um, I have not been through anything nearly close to what you have, but yeah, seeing the tide turn and things look up after a long time of them not looking that way. And I think the hardest part is like keeping on believing that day is gonna come, while also, wondering, is this day gonna come? And
Mm-hmm.
then it finally does. It's it's a happiness you don't have all at once. It's
Mm-hmm.
like,
It's layers. It's layers.
yeah, yeah. It's not, yeah, it's layers. Um, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Um, Simeon, I'm
Yeah.
asking again, but you just, yeah,
Yeah.
I
I just
can,
want to
I can,
I just want to say the same thing.
I,
Chastity, thank you so much, for like sharing your story, like giving us the insight, what I'm saying, to your personal life, like your upbringing, all the experiences that kind of made you like who you are today. I really, appreciate you for like, letting us in, what I'm saying. I know it's not always an easy thing to just like, share your personal story.
Mhm.
I do appreciate, you sharing it with us for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. I've always been told I have a story to tell. It's just it took me to finally, you know, build that courage up to say it.
well, oh, we are grateful. I was really excited to hear your story, and I'm really grateful to have heard it. And it sounds like you've always been a beacon of light, and it's great that you're able to not just be that for yourself, but for others. And um, I'm really, grateful to hear your story and to hear that there are experiences like you, um, that have positive outcomes. Um, and more importantly, getting to hear the journey to get there.
Mm-hmm.
That's really,
Mm-hmm.
really where the real heart of person comes from, not
Yeah.
the outcome. But that in between. Yeah. Thank you so
Yes, ma'am.
much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime you guys, any way that I can help, I'm here. And I thank you guys for opening up the door and giving me the opportunity because I know from here, this is only the beginning. I know that there's more. So, and I'm ready because I made a promise to God. So I can't break that promise. And just know that this interview is a part of that promise.
Absolutely. Well, yes, let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep, um, the connection warm, and yes, this has been great. This has been really great. This has been really eye-opening. Um, Thank you so much. I don't know how many times I've said it, but I said it
No,
again.
you're welcome. Oh, do you guys need a media photo of me or anything, or is just gonna be all worded?
If you would like to provide a photo, I'd love one. What about you, Simeon?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're comfortable with it.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
get
Yeah.
your
I'll
get some
send it
pictures of
over.
your plants too, your vegetables.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna log off. I have 30 minutes before my kids come home from camp.
Oh yeah, you need them 30
Okie
minutes.
doke.
Yeah.
I feel it.
All right, so have a blessed one.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Chastity.
Thank
Appreciate you.
you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye bye.